What's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional, aka Soul Brother #1 on the reporting for duty. We got the brother Nakiim Bay in the building. Peace to the brother Nakiim Bay. We're talking about the clock of destiny right now. Clock of destiny to me is one of it's to me this is just a cipher I never really delved deep into. So I don't like I don't have a deeper understanding of those teachings. I just have a little issue with the zodiac and the astrology and things like that, because for what I know, astrology, as it's taught here in the West, is not right and exact. So it's not a right and exact science. So that's just my issue, and maybe you could inform me on what the zodiac is for the clock of destiny. But first off, peace to you. How you doing this evening?
I'm great, my brother. Peace, peace. Take it, man. Yeah.
All right. So the first question is what is the clock of destiny and who founded it?
The clock of destiny, that means the zodiac. All right. Number two, the founder is known as CMB, also called um, Charles Mosley Bay or Dr. CM Bay, because he had a PhD and an LLD in law as well. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yes, yes. And you will see also in his book, The Clock of Destiny, at the bottom page. He went to um, the University of Chicago, you know, as well, a PhD and LLD with a Doctor of Laws, which is primary honorary degree at that time. Yes,
Hmm. Wow. Okay. All
and
right.
and it was founded in Cleveland, Ohio. All right, but he made way from Chicago to Detroit to Cleveland, Ohio,
All
and
right.
the clock was established in the 1947, and he revised a lot of the materials, the documents, in 1952. He passed away, if I recall, in 1973, or I think it was 75. I remember the last article I read, and he passed away through a stroke. He had a stroke, right? And there were a lot of writings that he comprised when he had a stroke, and very meaningful to the organization itself.
Mm. Okay. Okay. All right. So what is the clock of destiny? You said it's just the zodiac, right?
Well, the clock of destiny, the term itself, comes from the Rosicrucian Fellowship. One of their charts, it'll identify something to be the clock of destiny, which is the zodiac, right?
Mm.
And the basis of the organization, that was the foundation. But the basis of the organization was to solve the economic, social, and political problems. So I'm quoting that to you because the clock one and the clock two says that we are to solve our economic and social problem. And then in Circle of Life, his third book, he mentioned that we have to solve our economic, social, and political problem, right? And he said in Circle of Life, in the introductional page, second to the last paragraph, he said that our condition as a people, socially, due to our economic enslavement, meaning we have economic problems. And so because we have that problem, we have also a social problem. And if we can solve our economic problem, right, then we can solve our social problem. So the clock of destiny was founded on that, right? For our people to solve the economic problem, meaning financial situation, right? And their social problem, right? They have a better life, a better condition, a better career, a better future. And the political problem that was mentioned in the other book, and you can see now, that there's a big problem in the world, right? And Clock of Destiny Volume 1, in the back of the pages, towards the end, he says that the Europeans badly need our help,
Mm.
right? Um, it was really based on those three things that we should be focused on in the clock, and astrology was the basis of that. And I can go into why, but I'll allow your questions to flow.
Okay. Okay.
That's peace right there. Yo, peace, Nakeem. How you doing, brother?
How you doing? Good. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm good, man. Glad to hear you. Glad to see you. The second question I have: how does the clock of destiny differ from the Moorish science movement, like the Moorish Science Temple of America?
Well, the Clock of Destiny is not a religious organization, so that's one, right? And two, CMB, he said that we are scientific and cultural Moors, right? And we are to represent that, right? That we were not religious Moors. But there's nothing wrong with Moors who do a religion.
Mm-hmm.
Because many people need religion, because it gives them stillness, a peace of mind, and structure, and so forth,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the
Mhm.
clock, was for a certain membership, and also it was private. So your question, brother, is a good question because the MSTFA is a public organization, but the Adept Chamber is a private component of the Moorish National Divine Movement. So everyone can go to MSTFA and claim birthright, in which they should, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they want higher knowledge and want to be more responsible for structure and government and divine principles, right? And get more in depth about the movement that the Prophet already established, then they go to the Adept Chamber. The Clock of Destiny is a Adept Chamber. It's not from the MSTFA per se, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's Adept knowledge. Like Marcus Bay said on one of his tapes, who was a student of CM Bay, that um, the cognition has adapt knowledge,
Yeah.
right? You know, so the clock wasn't for the general population. It wasn't for the public. It was for a think tank of great minds coming together for a common cause,
Mm-hmm.
and to have those members in the organization work on solving the economic and social and political problem of the world. But first, started
Yes.
at home first, right? It was closed until exiled members that CMA exiled in 1968, 69, until they, you put somebody out to get disenfranchised, to get mad, and they do whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they start duplicating documents and all kind of stuff, right? And so it went haywire. It went crazy. But the clock has always been a private organization, a closed organization. It was never for the public. It's why um, on the original legal guide for court action for the Moors and the clock, it stated that um, the nationality card and timber card was for members only, right? So it's obvious. If you wasn't a member, it's simple. You were entitled to all the rights, rights, and benefits. I'll say it again. If you're not a member, that means you are not entitled to the rights, rights, and benefits of the organization. It ain't personal. It was laid down by CMB.
Exactly.
So there's a
Exactly.
difference between MSTV and the clock. There's no disharmony. There's no enemy or hate involved. It is several organizations with great missions, similar, right? But the preamble that we follow, right, and astrology, we're guided by those who study astrology in the clock.
Okay. Okay. So who was CMB and what makes his teachings unique? I think you already answered who CMB is or was.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Uh
what makes his teachings unique is
mhm.
that the masses of people called Black, Africans, Indians, West Indians, etc., they don't have no constitution,
Mm-hmm.
no seal, no constitution, no flag. and no laws, and there was self-government.
Mm,
He brought us our Moorish zodiac graceful constitution
yeah.
for a free people. And
Mhm.
by that way, you become free Moorish American under the umbrella of Pocket Destiny. So you got people of color, and I understand to a degree, fighting to partake in the Constitution of the United States. The history shows that it was not written for you, yet you were instrumental in establishing the Constitution, right? Or fighting for the Constitution, right? Or being a great American citizen, but you were never included. So you're forcing yourself in places where you're not wanted,
Right.
right? So CMB gave you a constitution to stand on, along with your free national name, Bay or Ill.
Yeah.
Probably did too, right? Right? The CMB came a little bit after the movement in Mative regarding whatever went down in history in 28, 29, and so forth, right? But he came and he targeted a certain group of individuals, right?
Mhm.
And he wanted them to come into the fold. That's why CMA said on the cover of Pocket Destiny, especially formations and who? Eastern Stars.
Yeah.
They have
Mm.
structure, discipline, insight on government principles, right? And they can definitely move the agenda, all right? Especially for them. Not saying anybody else, but especially for them, all right? So a constitution you have,
Mm.
and also, the prophet came with the same idea. It was about businesses, right? And I'm gonna quote you right here, the preamble, first paragraph, portion. We the Moorish, we the members of the Moorish Constitution National Order must promote organized effort in the category of all legal business enterprises, such as chain stores of necessary human consumption, housing and building programs, agriculture, printing, literature, home group education, in the Moorish science of the zodiac,
Mm.
involving human character, sociology, economics, commerce, the science of good government, etc. We, the Moorish American members, and also the European Americans of the white people, Union Society, at that time, 48 states, equally depend upon one another for economic security and progress and peace. That's just that's two paragraphs from the preamble.
Mhm.
That gives you the aims and objectives of proclamation. But
I,
many came and many have gone because that is a big responsibility for one to pick up. You
that's
see,
deep.
so you can see our direction. What makes us unique and different.
So it's more like a more civic relation concept.
Absolutely. Like I said, yep, it's more of a civic demonstration.
And
Right.
and to add to that, the registration of AA 222141, that right there, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, he registered that with Library of Congress,
Hmm.
based on his document. It said also U.S. Department of Justice.
Yeah.
Many say that I have changed the copyright number,
Hmm.
you know, but if you're intelligent enough, if you, Brother Ron, right, or Mickey, right, if either one of you today publish a book, right,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and you put on that book copyright, do you assign it a number or the Congress signs it a number? Library of Congress.
We
Library of Congress.
Library of Congress.
Right. So can I go behind you or you
No.
No,
personally and change your number?
No.
no.
Right. So people have said many times, I have changed the copyright number. But it shows
Mm.
you how unintelligent many of them are. You
Hmm.
know, how less informed they are. Right? See, they don't know how to use the number.
Mm.
That is to their advantage. And then this pardon me, disadvantage.
Right.
And because I'm not a memo on the inside, they would never know how to use the number.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? You can tie it into Title 22, Chapter 2, 141,
Mm.
Council of Courts,
Yeah.
right? But you have to know how to use that with your Constitution
Mm-hmm.
and your clock books 1 and 2.
Mm.
And really only Messiah and I, Bay, only one that really know how to use it.
Mm.
Mm.
Right? Because it's not for you as an individual, it's for the nation
Right.
of people. So you
Gotcha.
have people that have taken on this knowledge and have abused it, misused it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, see, when you study the science, you cannot today be an unconscious person, not know who you are and your origin in this world, and you worship what you know not understand that you were easily in the wrong direction and hard led in the right direction. And then tomorrow you get the clock books and a card in your pocket, and now you're Moorish American.
Mm-hmm.
It took you 7 years to get toxin in your body, which is pig and
Mm-hmm.
worms. It took you about the same amount of years or more to get rid of the poison in your body. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine the poison now in your brain.
Yeah. You are what you eat, baby.
Absolutely, right? So many of them, they have misinformed others, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I use you as a logic, common sense, right? You know, the clock, if you know what I had done in the past, the move I had made with the clock,
Yeah.
right? Success stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the Morse counseling. It wasn't made up, it was the real deal,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was through seeing based works. But when you open your eyes, you realize that a lot of Asiatics, they just want this knowledge so they can deal with their selfish interests.
Yeah.
Our people are not a selfish concern. We gotta have a passion for their upliftment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a job to uplift all humanity. You know what I'm saying? Not only to get a card in their pocket or put a certain kind of headpiece on their head, but to show them how to solve their what economic and their social problem, and then we can work on the political problem. Go ahead, brother.
That's
Right.
dope. I just had to ask that. That's peace, man.
No, brother, ask it. You know, it's a good question. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, definitely. So, what does the clock actually symbolize in the doctrine?
What you mean in the doctrine?
Like within the clock of destiny, like the term clock he used, because I know, the title itself says, man knowing how to move through space time,
Right,
or
right.
knowing.
I got you. So I said it earlier. I think you came on, right? Probably like a minute
Yeah.
Mhm.
afterwards. It's a zodiac.
The
Yeah.
zodiac. Right.
See, the zodiac, brother, and I hear Brother Ron, it's simple, right? I always tell people, well, this astrology is the Eastern and the Western and the sidereal. Listen,
Mhm.
look in your chart, your natal chart, and you tell me that those certain characteristics resemble you. That's all. And that is the truth. And the law is called prima facie evidence. I'm a Leo. And you will know I'm a Leo.
Yeah.
But I'm a Cancer rising. You know I'm a Cancer rising. I need that balance. I don't mean fine water. I need the subtleness. I need the spark.
Mm.
But Siri was a Pisces, foresight and vision. So my midheaven is a Pisces. Julie
Real
was
quick.
a Pisces.
Real quick. Creator of Boundless Universe. I think that's cosmology. Cosmology. Ask whatever you want to ask. Ask whatever you want to ask. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's a fact what he said, because that book was, CMBA was an astrologer from when I read, like the science in that book. He spoke about world events that took place from the birth of Hitler when he came through the time of Aries, and how stock market was affected by certain dates,
That's right, brother.
Mussolini and such. So
That's
yeah,
right.
it's important to know your natal. And it's more like, astrology, metaphysics involved. The time you were born plays a part.
Right,
Even
right. Numerology. Right.
numerology, which
I mean,
archangel work with you a certain time, and it's a lot to it.
Problem with Julie was the Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Capricorn. He dealt with government. Fidel Castro was a Leo. Obama was a Leo. Come on now, we go on the line. Nancy Reagan, the wife of Ronald Reagan, she was his astrologist. You see what I'm saying?
That's
So,
a fact.
astrology is a applied art and science.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But you got to really study it and master it. Not only does it treat of human behavior, but it describes your character
Mm-hmm.
and how to deal with people.
Zodiac. That's a fact.
Right. Now, I want to go into the next question. Blah, 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 blah. What is the significance? I don't think that's a good question, but let's go to the next one. All right. Metaphysical question. How does the clock of law view time, law, in space?
How does the clock view time, law, and space?
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, the Kushites are the one that laid down the science of astrology. The Kushites of ancient Kemet. And so, when you use astrology in line with the divine law, it can only be in harmony. You, as a human being, is the only person not in harmony with divine law. You know, the micro and macro is one and the same. It's the God within, it's the God that you are, right? So time only exists in one's mind. See, you was created in the image and likeness of God,
Mm-hmm.
but you limit yourself by zoning into time. See, God is the maker of time and the ending of time. You see what I'm saying? Right? That's who you are. But yet your nature is God. You transcend time. Time is only an illusion, man-made. When Ben Bay, also known as Benjamin Banneker, established the first wooden time clock, it was for the Europeans. It's not for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because they own time. We're infinite. You know what I'm saying? They're in a time zone. We're not.
And the almanac, I believe. Yeah.
We put on their ideology, their culture, their God, and we begin to emulate them. But we have to go back to the source from which we came. So we transcend time. There's no time. How he says in Circle 7 Quran?
Time never was before man
Man
was
was
not.
not. Right. Time never was, man was not. And what's the important thing? The finite cannot comprehend the infinite.
Right.
So human people in human form are very finite. And they deal with human concepts, human practices. That's what they're around. So I came among the gods. We deal with God energy, God power, God infinite. That's why they took those divine names, right? So the clock, destiny, brother, is in harmony with the universe because it is the universe. Because our forefathers who had great minds, right, superseded all things finite.
That's power right there. Power,
Yeah.
power.
That kind of helped me. That helped me out a lot right there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you gotta get that book, Ron. Like I think you do have the Clock of Destiny, right?
Yeah. I have the clock books. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Gotta read it again. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, it's like going to the books. It's crazy because you open up, it's new, something
Yeah.
new, something
Yeah.
new. I had it since 1983, and it's still something new to me. I got to renew it. But one thing I got to keep in mind, see, knowledge is good to have. Wisdom makes it definite because wisdom is the application of the knowledge. If you don't
Right.
apply the knowledge, it becomes dormant and it passes away.
Right.
I got you. I got you. So, can you explain the 12 signs of the zodiac in relation to the Moorish nationality and law?
That's now in the law. See, the law is the ninth house. Personality, that's now the first house. That's now in law. You know, see, the zodiac is divine law. It's not man-made law. You know, nationality. Let me tell you something. And I've been real about it. Man God today ain't man God tomorrow. And you only name the God that you see. If man unfolds, God unfolds. So the day you call yourself Moorish Americans, tomorrow something else. But Zodiac, Has been here since the time of our ancient forefathers. You know, this is all transitional. The highest, let me tell you something, brothers. The highest person is you, God. I'm being real. I'm not I'm not religious. Nationality is a process. You see what I'm saying? See what it says, as man unfolds, his God unfolds. Do you want to be just a man or God or just a Moorish American? Or Moorish American with science? You want to be just a Muslim or God?
I'd rather
You
be
see what I'm
God.
saying? Right, right. See,
Hmm.
so even though your nation is this, see, the prophet said that when you harm the thought of a man, you harm the thought of Allah. Look into the face of a man, you look into the face of Allah.
Hmm.
So people are studying all kinds of stuff, but they're not mastering themselves, who are true to nature and reality of being God.
Yep.
Right? So the zodiac is all that, brother. Personality, economics, career. Because, second house is abundance, finance.
Hmm.
10th house is career. The psychic, 12th house, law ninth house, the underworld, a higher science, the 8th house, right? I can go ahead through it. Balance, 7th house, the analytical mind, 6th house, family, the 5th house, 11th house, friends and friendships, right? 7th house, marriage. I can go ahead through it, right? That was the science. As a clock conduction member, you look into the zodiac and you say, I have an issue. What planet is transitioning this particular house in my chart? Because I have an issue. Or I want to advance an issue or better understand myself, right? So I got to study all my houses, 12. It's called in the Bible mansions, right? You know, and you got to know how the planets are involved. See, you might know about the sun and moon have effective powers on our planet, right? You might know about that, but how about Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Neptune? How about
Hmm.
other planets?
That's a fact.
You got it?
Real quick. Cosmology, thank you for the $5, or creator of Boundless Universe. Thank you for the $5. The question is, what did the prophet mean by do all old business in the old name and do all new business in the new name?
Brother,
Mm.
that question, I love that question. See, we say in great steel law, you cannot be free and bound at the same time. You can't be
Mm.
yes and no at the same time, right? Finish all business in your own name. As you finish that, they come and reclaim nationality under your new name, Baal. What has happened? You have those that came here with ill intentions. I got a credit issue. I want to not pay this student loan. I don't want to pay this mortgage. I don't want to have a license no more because I have adopted ideology from the European powers of colonial settlers. Right? They come over here with the old stuff, the old baggage,
Oh.
and they come here. Right? Finish all your old business in your old name. They come here because this is a new journey for you. That's why the prophet said, "Come and serve on your own vine and fig tree." You under the ego. Now you want to come under the pyramid, the great seal
Mm.
law. Right? You cannot be yes and no at the same time. And a lot of people, they're yes and no at the same time. So, great question. I love it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have to know when you come to the Moorish movement, don't come with baggage.
Mm.
Right? Be the bag lady or bag man and put it aside. You want to start fresh. You want to start. This is a Islamic movement as well. It has culture. It has refinement. It has civilization. I'm just rambling, right? It has knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It has culture and refinement. And you cannot be a savage over here in pursuit of the happiness you were dealing with over there.
Right.
Got you.
Right?
Got you.
That was a great answer. Great
Like,
answer, man. Wow. Because I've heard other things when people ask that question. But that was great. What does man is mind mean in the clock of destiny doctrine?
man is mine. I'm trying to think if I recall that statement. I probably thought very simplistic. Man is mine. You know, wow, because now you're saying what is the mind, right? You know, right? Because if man is mind, you're saying man is the mind. So that means, he's able to activate all five stages of the mind, right? At some point in his life. So if man is mind, it means the conscious level, the subconscious, the superconscious, and the magnetic, and the infinite. Those five things of the mind, man must develop to manifest the ability to achieve those goals.
Mm, that's peace right there.
Mm, mm.
So I have a question. Um, to be a bit more probably a little controversial. Do you believe Black Americans are indigenous to this land? Why or why not?
Well, first of all, you look at the word indigenous. Indigenous, it means poor,
Oh wow.
right? Look it up, right? Um, Black Americans, some was here after the fact, some was
Hmm.
here before the colonial settlers came here. Right? So one had to trace their genealogy, and find out their line here in America. You know, but I do know because I got the book. See, England was once called Virginia, for example. The fact of the matter, right? You know, so it said, well, the ship came from England and went to another state, right? But there was different names for those states, like New Mexico, right?
Hmm.
So the point I'm making is that some people was brought here way after the fact, but also people here already.
Yeah.
All right, so it may be controversial, but I deal with the facts. I don't want to generalize.
No,
You know,
I respect that. I respect that. This is pretty good. I have quite a few questions, but I'm gonna ask some questions
if
like,
you actually with a mind traveling, you can
have
ask
it.
it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's where we at right now. What's your perspective on Moors engaging with the U.S. legal system, traffic stops, court appearances, etc.?
What is my perspective?
Yeah.
Look, CMA said that we must have respect for the federal, state, and county laws of the land. I'm gonna say it
Hmm.
again. We gotta have respect for the federal, state, and county laws of the land,
Hmm.
right? If a cop stop you, you show them your license from the state.
Yeah.
Your passport. You know, that what you do, right? You should
Yep.
have it. If you go to court, you know, and what you're doing in court, as a reason which is unlawful, then find a righteous way to combat it. Get a lawyer because you don't know law.
Hmm.
Now let me say it a little better, right? The prophet said, if you had, I'm gonna say European, if you had a European education, I could use you. More should be lawyers, judges, doctors, prosecutors,
That's a fact.
nurses, engineers, pharmacists, etc.
That's a fact.
Right?
Mm.
So the better to navigate through the system, you got to learn the system and apply yourself within the system. Then you'll understand part and partial.
That's peace right there. All right, that makes sense, man. To have understanding. You know, it makes
Absolutely.
it makes perfect sense because you can't beat the car dealer, be angry at him for cheating you if you don't know the game. You got to step
Absolutely.
in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Sylvia saying that, right?
Yeah, he did. He
Learn
did.
the card game of the card shark, right? But
Yeah.
what also I want to say this here because it's real.
Hmm.
Not all the time, police officers are correct. Not
Yep.
all the time, are judges correct.
Hmm.
Are lawyers correct? Moors need to learn how to file court actions as priority. Go to law school, even if you're not Moorish Americans. I don't know who you are, what
Yeah.
you're tied to. Learn the law. Learn how to um, file writs in court.
Hmm.
Because if a cop charges you, you should be able to deal with that from beginning to end, right?
Gotcha.
You should be able to charge the police officer, charge the judge, charge the employer on your job, and so forth, right?
Yep.
I mean, I know how to do this here. Some of y'all know this already, right? You
Hmm.
know, learn these things, right? Because sometimes all you really have is yourself. And you, meaning it should be two people learning. Don't leave that sovereignty, patriot, posse stuff alone.
Yeah.
Because you taking abstracts from different documents and you putting together a bunch of mess and you filing it and you find out it's incorrect. It's not
Get
done.
jammed. Get jammed up in the system bad.
Right. Go to school. Pay for your paralegal studies or go to law school. It is fine. We can use you for the good, for the positive.
I respect that. So, what's the clock of destiny's position on reparations in the political system?
We don't have that as an argument. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Um, like look, let's let's be real. And I thought about it earlier today. America is the greatest country in the world.
Hmm.
It's truly a land of opportunity, but you have to know how to take advantage of the opportunities before you.
Mm.
You know, America based on credentials, education, who you know, right?
Yep.
Um, you know, reparations is fine if you can claim that history. Right?
Gotcha.
You gotta prove it. The clock that we haven't been our issue, right? Because we promote self development, self entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
economic sovereignty, get a house, provide for your family, do economics, get educated, establish the family legacy. You got people who don't have acres of land as
Yeah.
promised, but they own a home and a vacation home. They got a
Hmm.
nice retirement plan. They got two businesses that they run. The kids run the businesses. They
Hmm.
travel many times a year, right?
Yeah.
So we are battling the system so much that we in our mind think it is our enemy.
Mm.
There are people in this government and not in our favor, but whether it's black, brown, red, yellow, white, Caucasian, red, or whatever, or pink, right? Everyone is not in the same pool for the same reason.
Exactly. Hold on a second, real quick. We got a super chat from Creative Boundless Universe. He said, "As beige, should we stand on the on that represents its literal sense, offending or
Um,
governments of the province?" What?
I love what you're saying. As a Bay, because I'm a Bay, as a Bay and an ill,
Hmm.
um, you're standing alone because the Moorish community is not. I'm gonna say community, not a community per se. You know, we are very individualized.
Yeah.
I got a team, a few individuals that we can move together in unity, right? But standing on the bay alone is not good enough.
Hmm.
You need collaboration. You need, and another thing, you need economics. You know,
Most
you know,
importantly.
Right. Yeah, I agree. We are part and parcel, but I can quote 120 lessons, man, and
Hmm.
show and prove many factors there. But all the land that I own, they still own a great percentage of it. You know, So I'm just saying we are part and partial, and I will say this here, not to deviate,
Yeah.
but the federal government was never against us. I mean, the current one, issues going on, right?
Yeah.
The police officers in the land were never against us. We
So
never
when
know how to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? That that's part and parcel. You know what I'm saying? You always gonna have enemies before us,
wow, some people asking good questions tonight. They say, "Was
brother.
CMB?"
I love it. Look. You're right. Priest and was a member of the Roger Christian Fellowship for
Yeah.
Christian men and women. Absolutely, brother. Yeah.
People are traveling tonight.
The brother who was a Catholic priest taught him well.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I totally agree. So you'll see a lot of the Catholic teachings and CMB teachings and how he dealt with it. Yes, he was a member of Max Hinedale. I was in Marcus Bay House in Cleveland, Ohio. Me and brother was there. He said Max Hinedale was a Moor. You got to understand the
Mm.
concept, right? So absolutely, brother. Yes, he was a member uh, um, of a Catholic Church, and he was also a member of McKinder organization as well. True indeed, brother. Absolutely.
Oh,
CME said in his writings, those who are listening, he said, and Moore's got it. These writings, it's private because they was there when I got them, and Messiah Bay copied them and gave them
mhm.
to certain brothers. He said, do not mess with Rosicrucian because it bothers your mind.
Mm,
Rosicrucian studies is very, very powerful. It's not for anybody. Right? You
mm.
gotta have a very developed mind for sure.
Yes, but true. And we'll build more after the show. But yeah, I have been touching a few books on that. You know what I'm saying?
So very powerful.
Yeah, very like a lot of
And
transformation of self.
and I will say when I went to the college near Rochelle,
Hmm.
I finished 4 years. When I was there, I used to go to the Catholic library because there's a Catholic university. I used to go to and get like Morisco's, the Book on the Moors,
Hmm.
the CMA. You know. So yeah, see, once you have the foundation, you got to build thereafter. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that's powerful right there. So, what books or materials should someone read to begin understanding this path?
Wow, brother. I don't know as a question, but let me tell you something. I always say it. Clock Destiny Volume 1 and 2
Hmm.
is the foundation.
Got you.
Research, research. I always tell the morals in the clock, try to disprove it. If you cannot disprove it, no one else can.
Mm.
Get Circle Life book, astrology. These are all by C.M. Bay.
Virgo Life book. All right.
Now, the Moorish Constitution, he said, this Constitution is the foundation of my two books, Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Mm.
Right? This is the foundation for your travels, your map. He said Europeans are guided by the Moorish Empire history.
Yep.
When I read that, I went out and bought the 3 volumes of the Moorish Empire.
Mm.
He mentioned that book, 1928. Go and get it. What he mentions, go and study it. The brother mentioned earlier about Mussolini and Hitler,
Yeah.
those 5 sons of destiny. Read up on their astrology and their parents and know why Sammy said what he said.
Yeah.
You be guided by the 12 signs of the zodiac in book 1 and book 2. You do that.
Yeah.
Don't be involved with the other people out here not following the path. You follow the path.
That's a
Now I got
fact.
to say, now with that, because with that, brother or sister who asked a question, I got to say, the Moorish Quran is a very powerful, powerful book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important that the people study the Moorish Quran. It's made up of 3 books. You got to study those 3 books in that one book. And I say because a lot of Moors don't have civilization, righteousness. They deal with the lower self, not the higher self.
Mm.
If I wasn't a god and I wanted to be a Muslim, I probably just studied the Prophet Muhammad and the Quran, and I visit any mosque because I don't want to follow any ideology. Now, if I wanted to be Muslim on that side, I would just follow the Moorish Quran and the Prophet teachings, and that's it. I won't get involved with the MSTV and those political and social concerns that they're building, right? Because when human minds get certain things happen. I'll follow the Prophet and Quran. But because I am that of God, right, the original man, that is, I will say clock one, clock two, circle life. Just read the Constitution of Zodiac, because without a Bayonil, you can't even use it. And I'll say the Moorish Quran, for sure.
That's peace right there. You on fire, Nakeem. Salute, my brother. And because I've been watching your information for years, and I went on the Clock of Destiny website before I started traveling myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And whenever, although I'm in my studies of traveling, I always go back and peek at the Circle 7. Something always told me, go back and peek
Right.
something. I'm like, I'm like, wow, this is making sense. This next to that, and so go so on and so forth. I can't, I can't say much, but yeah, it's very powerful.
Right.
We got. Go ahead.
I got something for you. Close. You continue. I am considering shutting down the Clark College.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah, that was I talked about to members the other day. You know, um, but now anyway, I am considering that.
Nah,
You know,
not yet.
yeah,
Don't do it yet.
you got yours. Go
I,
ahead, brother.
we got a super chat here again from creator of the Boundless Universe. And I appreciate the super chat, my brother or sister. They say, can you expound on on what the prophet meant when he said, "I throw away your Bibles because I am going to use it to correct the government"? Paraphrased.
Wow. I remember saying that a while ago. Hearing that, you know, I will say this here, right? Well, right, he could use it to condemn the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you want to get to me, you got to be able to quote 120 lessons,
Mm.
not
Mm.
imitative or clock. My foundation is 120 lessons. If you want to get to the Christians, you got to get to them through the Bible.
Mm.
The Muslims, the Quran. MSTV, the Moorish Quran, right? Farrakhan mentioned many times about this government, right? It's found wanting, as he said. It's found wanting,
Mm.
you know, and the cities of Philadelphia, you know, this government is recorded in the Bible,
Mm.
foreseen, already written in advance, right? So my understanding would be, in order to condemn this government, you got to come at them with the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
I don't mean religion. You got to show them their history. See. Trump is Pharaoh,
of course.
and we dealt with the science of the laws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trump is Pharaoh. You cannot hate a man that was made to do what he's doing. It's
Yep.
already recorded in the stars.
Ordained, baby. That's the word I used last show. Ordained.
That's why his name is Trump. He called all other people that wasn't followers. Yaku had followers, ain't that right?
Mm-hmm.
And they followed his laws, regardless to what he told them to do. They did it. If not, they paid with their lives for every law they broke.
Mm.
The penalty was death. What he did, all his followers, Trump followers, all the Trump followers followed him. And then what happened? If you disobeyed Trump, what he did?
Got rid
Cut
of
you
you.
off,
Yep.
exiled you.
That's it.
Now he want to jail you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Don't hate a man who was made to do what he's doing. If it wasn't for him to be in office, it would never happen. It's mathematics. It's law. It's in the Bible.
Exactly.
The white horse. Oh,
We're
that's
going deep on that. We're going too deep.
that's that. Margaret Bay called that the red house, horse. I mean, a horse, from a stallion. You gotta know who he is. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
don't worry about his 14 billionaire connections. What you mad? Why you mad at that?
Yeah. He's using what's within his realm, in his orbit. Scientific. That's what he's using.
Right. So you're right, brother. Marcus Bay, Margaret. I have 300 something sayings. Marcus Bay, and we was on the phone many times. He was a student of CM Bay, and he was a member of the Adept Chamber, Immaterial Bay, and also CM Bay. Great man for sure. He passed. Yeah, he passed about a few years ago, actually. Yeah, a couple years ago, so to speak. But yeah, so I'm just talking about the Bible and government. You know what I'm saying? You know, people looking at Trump and they don't like what he's doing, and it makes us feel very funny. I didn't vote for him, right? It's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he had to
Yeah.
stand up and do what he had to do. So don't hate, don't love, but understand the nature that one's made of, and look at the followers
Mm-hmm.
that are following him, and look at the blind, deaf, and dumb who was treading along that path. And now
Mm-hmm.
all of them have been hoodwinked and booed,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Give us
So,
Barabbas.
right, see, they studied us,
Mm-hmm.
but we ain't studied them. But the God studied them,
Mm-hmm.
and Allah Muhammad studied them. See what I'm saying? So we don't hate what's going on. It's not comfortable. It's true.
Yeah.
But the Bible tells the story. Go ahead, brother.
Beautiful, man. How has being a member of the Clock of Destiny personally changed your life?
Hmm. The Clock of Destiny has definitely opened my eyes in terms of the Moorish history, you know, and it gave me more of a industrial perspective of life to be more economically inclined,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, it gave me a greatness to the law.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in college, I had law classes, but the clock kind of like drove me to study like English law and other areas of law, and I can defend my family. I can help people out. You know what I'm saying, legally. I can deal with legal matters. Right? So it put me on the path. The clock definitely put me on the path.
Made you very studious.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
well, on the more science. If it
Yeah.
was, I gotta be honest, like I'm a god. It wasn't for the 120 lessons,
Yeah.
because we was taught to study individually,
Mm.
and we studied every day. So
Yeah.
there's Wednesday, I made sure I dealt with communication. That's more science.
Mm.
Tomorrow, Thursday is business. I know I deal with business. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Friday, I might study sex magic, right? Or Venus, beauty, and love.
Right.
Saturday, maybe retirement, education. So the 5% nation of God's earth has taught me how to sign things out in a fine mist and bring it up, bring it down at my will and
Mm.
pleasure. You know what I'm saying? So it has definitely given me a foundation of 120 lessons. More science, only added science.
That's peace right there, man. I respect that. I could tell, man. You have knowledge of self and heart. A lot of high science knowledge as well. We have another super chat again from Countless Boundless Universe, bro. Appreciate the super chats, and the question is: Malcolm said to respect a man who was honest about his intentions rather than put his arm around you and call you brother. That's a fact.
Sure indeed. And word being bond.
Hmm. That's a fact. That's a fact, brother. That's a fact.
Indeed. Yes, sir.
But we gotta have you come back on here, Nakeem Bay, man, because you are so full, like you're so resourceful with information, man.
Thank you, brother.
That's needed out here, because a lot of people, you know, as you said, we could have this knowledge, but not applying it is just it's a waste of time.
Indeed. Indeed. I mean, look, man, our people is in a very bad situation. And you got many schools of thoughts claiming to be the one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would say, me and my son and I had a good talk the other day, and it's about our people.
Mm-hmm.
I said, son, whether it's Robert Smith family or Nathan Rothschild family, you know, right? I'm going to go Yahoo. I'm going to Jewish. I'm going to go Robert Smith, my brother. You know, don't try to save the world through organizations.
Mm.
I learned this here. You know, work with who, you know, we can, but your family. Establish the Ron Brown family, the Mickey family, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, your wife, your children, and build finance. Help finance politicians, right?
Mm.
That's good. Put money into businesses of your own people. Do what they have done for them, because it came from us anyway, right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You want to change the world? Peace, peace. If you want
Right.
to change the world, start with your family first.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a
I learned
fact.
back in the days. Your lodge is your family. That's what God talk to you. Your lodge is your family.
Mm-hmm.
The nation is your family. That's your family, man, woman, and child.
Mm-hmm.
Build economic security with your family. Build a legacy with your family. You know what I'm saying? That's the teachings of these great men.
Mm-hmm.
Family first before a big organization you're trying to organize is constantly being divided. Take
That's a
all that
fact.
knowledge, the best part for yourself, and bring it to your family, your wife, or
Mm-hmm.
sister, your husband, and your children. Give them the knowledge they need of self and education, and give them time of economics
That's true.
and
That's
finance the
true.
good. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
true. Mm-hmm.
Right? Finance the good, because the clock is a family. Six female signs with six male signs. It's a family, and
Mm.
thus if you're on 60 degrees,
That's a fact.
you know, and the fifth house is my house on 50 degrees. It's for family. Every house of zodiac is family. Be about your career with your family. Be about your family. Five.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got you. So is this brother opposed to taking our fight into the ICJ, International Court
Brother,
of Justice?
no, I'm not opposed. But if you know, I'm a student of international law and I'm certified in the area. And before you go there, you got to first do things on the local level first,
Mm-hmm.
right? I currently have a case in DR, a human rights consultant, regarding an extradition case with somebody from Miami going to Haiti through DR last year, August the 6th. And
Mm.
he contacted me, and me dealing with international, right, organs, I had to first make sure that all things were taken care of there first. So, point I'm making, ICJ is good, but you want to at some point show them how you exercise your remedies here first, and how those laws are not favorable, and then go through the process. So,
All
no, no.
right, this is the last question before we get up out of here.
On Muhammad, that's a chart
Peace
on
be
top.
with
Life. He said life. All right, Ahmad Muhammad, life 120 degrees. Thank you, brother. Taught the Lord found the science, everything in life. He said life 120 degrees. And the article is entitled The Black Woman. All right, I have life 120 degrees. And it says that there is no more life to be given out. It is incumbent upon each and every individual to search and find what he or she doesn't have, for the time isn't far off. Right? So time, truthfully, of teaching is over. Now the 120 degrees itself, because if you said life 120 degrees, right? That's a lesson about 4 or 5 pages, right? And who are the 5%? How they look, where are they? Some like you and me. Some are dressed bad. Some high society types. Some
Mm-hmm.
of the penal institution, right? So I had that lesson. I went over that lesson actually the last week, right? But I had to remember that my job is the babies, right? The
Mm-hmm.
light is cut off now. But he taught us 120 lessons, right? Well, to be exact, mathematics and alphabets, he didn't teach us that. He gave us um, 1 to 10, 136, 1 to 14, 1 to 40, action facts, solar facts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he gave us. If you add mathematical alphabets to it, give us the 8 points, right? Definitely, we'll get 120 degrees from that as a science, counting all the 8 points, all right? Um, and then 5 times 72 is 360. We deal with the angles of the points. So the point I'm making is those lessons he gave us was definitely the foundation to all things in existence. But you got to still draw it up, mention it, and know where it applies in this day and time, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the 18th degree, you're talking about your duty as one who is civilized to teach the world. Next degree, talking about once the job is done, you told them, that's it. You stop there, right? Go to the 5th degree, you're talking about Jerusalem, you know, that was the past, man, many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
you know. You go to 7th degree about division and conquer. Well, we have that among ourselves right now, right? Because the 8th degree is the main thing, and then called by the Son of Man. In fact, all of the above called by the Son of Man. So the point I'm making right now, I'm scanning through the degrees, just erratically. To make the double, you must first begin back from the original. So what that means, if I can take qualities from you, I can convert you and change you, make you other than yourself. So you gotta be able to draw your lessons up, because some of those lessons definitely are still in the past, but you got to bring them to current as much as possible. They got to be a living science and not just a quoting science. I remember when Big Daddy Kane came to the Parliament on the 50th anniversary, right, at the Apollo Theater. And he was leaning, he said, don't be on the corner talking about 1969, 40,000 square miles, of water, right? So what he was making is that make those lessons become live, make them become real, live it.
Manifest them.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely, brother, I definitely agree, right? Science, everything in life. Remember that quote there, right? It says, what is the duty of a civilized person? Answer, to teach he who is savage, civilization, righteousness, and what else? The science of everything in life. So don't you to teach it, you gotta first what? Have it. You gotta go out there and get it. Right? Right? So now once you get it, what's next? That's one thing I wish I would have came up with in this knowledge. Right? But that's what it is. Young father sinners, we was on the corner talking about the rain, the earth, the snow, the water, geography, diameters. We broke it down. We should have been professors in schools now as scientists.
That's a
In
fact.
history, architecture, lawyers, judges. All lessons, my brother, was that key. The same thing what the prophet said. If you had the education, I'm misquoting now, right? If you had that education, European education, right? I quote now, I can use you.
Yeah.
Right? So point I'm making is, my brother, is that I go through the lessons in my mind, even though I'm almost 60 as of next month. And I was 15 years old, and I'm still quoted in my mind.
Keep the mind sharp.
Right? So the end result is the science got to be taught. But start your families. I'm going to repeat this here. It's good to be part of your organizations. I call them phases. Be more involved with your family and bring the science there. You want to help your people build capital like the Robert Smith family or the Nathan family, or DuPont family or Chase family. Let it be your family. Bolos, Al, myself, Bella. Let it be your family when you finance opportunity for our people. You know what I'm saying? Right?
No doubt.
All right? Peace.
Peace. Nakeem, I appreciate you for coming out tonight, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
Peace to the chat. We appreciate the super chats, the questions. You know, viewers and listeners, go back, play this over again. A lot of gems were dropped. Study, build with your civilization, which is your family. And you know, we love you for that. Peace, and we out. NYP. Later, brothers.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace, y'all. Peace.